obviously you were at Legal Marketing Association's conference a couple weeks ago. I mentioned this before we started recording. You kicked off the general session in a very, what I will call, memorable and exciting way. And I said to my team before we got on, I cannot say anything about this because given the opportunity, I do exactly what this guy did.
A year ago, I was in our Vegas at that conference, and Lisa Kamen's this wonderful marketing person we have on the team, and I snuck into their room where they hide from us, and she's like, "Oh God!" And I said, "Hey, I know you're eating a sandwich, but next year I want to sing Born This Way. Come." And I wanted to come from the back of the house. That was my idea at the time. And she said, "Well, are you going to come in an egg?" Because she's that person, really dryly. I said, "Maybe." And we kind of she put a pin in that, but she didn't tell me no. And then the year went by, and I kept practicing the song in my car. I downloaded a karaoke track and got the rights. Whatever I think on the interwebs that you get the rights to do these things. I have them somewhere in my email. Lady Gaga, don't be mad. And I changed a couple of lyrics. There's some that are a little problematic now, 15, 20 years later. And I stuck in LMA a couple places. I'm like, this is going to be working. This is great. And Lisa was on board with it. And then I had this picture of my mom. My mom passed about a year and a half ago. And it's me and her looking in the mirror. I'm a baby. And that song, as you know, starts with, "My mama told me when I was young, we are all born superstars. She rolled her hair and put her lipstick on in the glass of her boudoir." And that was what, like, I wanted that. The theater guy was like, I want that on screen. And as things have evolved in Florida, and I won't make any political comments, we were talking about other theming for parties and things around the conference, and people would say things like, "Let's do Havana Nights." And I felt like that's like cultural appropriation. I don't like that. And for me, the venue in Miami, it was 80s, it was glam, it was flash. I knew the drag queen community was very strong in Miami, one of the hotbeds of where it all began in the States. And so I said, I want a drag queen, and I want some 80s. I want an 80s night, and I want some impersonators. That was about the depth of my thinking. So they found Athena Dion, and we had a conversation, and I said, I know what we need to do, because I saw what was happening in Florida, and I was getting these emails. There are always these helpful people who don't understand the nature of contracts and planning, and that you pick a venue years in advance and you're kind of stuck where you're stuck. And they're like, "We should cancel. We need to leave Florida. Let's make a statement." And I'm like, yeah, that's not practical. And also there are people there who are not in agreement with some of what's going on. They need other people to come and say, "We love you." So I said, okay, here's what I want to do, guys. We good with this? 8:30 in the morning. I want to come on, head to toe sequence, start from backstage with the first little verse. And I even got crazy. I pulled in some of Beyonce's "You Won't Break My Soul," Madonna's "Express Yourself," and "Let's Get Loud" from J-Lo. And one person was like, "Do you want to do that?" I said, "Yeah, I do. I want to have my gays go crazy with the Easter eggs. I love Taylor Swift enough. I want all the people of color to go, oh, something's happening." So I started that off stage, and then I come on stage, and I've seen the video, and I look like a stuffed sausage wrapped in sequins. I wish I'd lost some weight, but you know what? It works. The fact that I'm old and fat and crazy and come out looking this way, it all adds to the impact. And I start singing the rest of the song, and the audience is just like, what is he doing? But they're loving it. And I had all my buddies around the front row. I'd given enough warning to people to say, you want to be there at 8:30. Get through the first verse of the song. And then I say, what is it? Don't be a drag, just be a queen. Don't be a drag, just be a queen. Ladies and gentlemen, Athena Dion. And she came out, and she had this diaphanous chiffon rainbow thing. And they're like, "How long did you guys rehearse?" I was like, 10 minutes yesterday. It didn't matter. All we needed was that costume. And then everybody was on their feet. And regardless of how anybody might be feeling politically or was in that room, it was nothing but love. It was just, we're going to have some fun, and we're going to celebrate everybody. That was the point. And then after, I didn't want to just have, okay, now we had a performing drag queen and she goes away. I said, I want her to tell her story. So our transition then into the business of the conference was, why did we do that? It's time to tell our stories. So I talked about my mom. And it's interesting. I had written something very glowing about my mother that was effusive and how supportive she was. She wasn't in my early days. And I had a conversation with my boss Saturday night before the conference. That we just, one of those chats with wine and Tostitos. And I had a wonderful picture of her I posted. And she said, "Roy, you got to take that down." I go, okay. But it changed what I said. And what I said was, "Born This Way," those are the words I wish my mom had said to me, but she didn't. One day she did come around. but be an advocate for yourself if you don't have one in your life, and advocate for others. And then Athena told her story about being bullied and why, she sort of found her superpower with this performance that she does. And it set us off on the right path. And yes, it was wildly self-indulgent, but, I wanted to make a memory. I knew I had one big swing at this, and I was like, we got to record this. I want it out in the world. I want people to see it, because we needed to send a message of inclusion without being pedantic, as I am being now. But it's fun to armchair this in reverse and tell the story about how we got where we got. And I'm sure the audience is like, I stopped following him 3 anecdotes ago, but there was a lot of love that went into that, and it was not just me. It was our team, our co-chairs. There were enough people aware of what I wanted to do and supportive of it, and that gave me the strength to do it. Because there were a couple times in the weeks prior, I'm like, what exactly do I think I'm doing? Because that's the kind of thing that either going to land or it's going to be really uncomfortable. So thank you for letting me tell that, and thanks for watching from afar and being someone who would do that yourself, because I think that's what we need right now. I love that there are performers out there that are just, some of the alternative acts that are out there just in a granny dress and a gray wig, and I'm like, good, make your statement and show people that we all belong.